guys, Ash Lane here, coming at you today playing a little Clash Royale. I logged into my clan this afternoon and immediately asked if anybody was having any great winning decks, and Clark Kent told me about this deck where he won 282 cups in just a day using the MUSKVAHO. He went from 2,900 to almost 3,200 cups, and he also went 11 games in a row without a loss. So let's go ahead and watch some of his replays, and we'll see if we can try to pinpoint what makes this deck so effective. You'll notice by the spells that it features the Elixir Pump, the Freeze spell, the Ice Wizard, the Valkryie, the Goblin, the Hog, the Fireball. He used arrows at first, he said, but then he found the Fireball just so much more effective, especially when you're going to be playing against Musketeers, and Musketeers are really popular, especially 3 Musketeers right now. So if you're playing against 3 Musketeers, or even Barbarians, you might want to consider swapping out your arrows for the Fireball. And the idea behind this deck is, first of all, every single card, maybe besides the Hog, has a lot of versatility. It's both good offensively and good defensively. That means this is one of those decks where you can actually play pretty safe. You don't have to play too aggressively with this deck, and what you can do is turn those successful defenses into successful offenses. You'll see in this replay specifically that the opponent comes at him with a lot of really fast-moving and powerful offensive surges, and he's always able to stymie them and then turn it into a little successful offense of his own. So let's look at his cards right now and try to get inside the mind of Clark Kent, and maybe we'll pick up a useful tip or two when trying this deck for our own. I have not even played it yet, but I just wanted to get these replays down and share it with you guys, and then maybe we can talk in the comments below and see what kind of success we have with it. But hey, if you're getting 300 cups in a day in 11 matches in a row without a loss, he definitely warrants some attention. So the idea here is obviously he's trying to sneak the Hog in when he knows the opponent has low elixir. When they drop a really expensive troop like a P.E.K.K.A., you know you're gonna catch them a little bit off guard with the elixir. So look at how he plays this defensively right now. So he has the Musketeer and the Ice Wizard on the board. Then he drops the Goblins, distracting the P.E.K.K.A. from the tower. Notice that he is full on elixir right now. Then he drops the Valkryie. Now the Valkryie has a lot of hit points, a decent amount of hit points. So what he tries to do in this deck is use the Hog right after placing the Valkryie. That's one of the good combos in this deck. Also, the Freeze spell. You'll notice he uses it very sparingly. That's because A, he doesn't want to necessarily show his hand, and B, he wants to use the Freeze spell when he knows he can really take advantage of it. The worst thing in the world in this game, at least, well, maybe aside from Expo, is when you use a Freeze spell and it goes to waste. You can use Freeze spell very effectively both offensively and defensively, but you want to make sure you use it at the right moment. Now you can see he just pulled off that combo I talked about earlier, where he drops the Valkryie followed by the Hog. Using the Valkryie is actually really effective, both offensively and defensively. On offense, she can withstand a few hits from the tower. You can see that timely Freeze spell at the end there just to make sure that P.E.K.K.A. did not get into his tower. But as I was saying, the Valkryie. Let's talk a little bit about the Valkryie card and why it's seeing somewhat of a resurgence in the game right now. So one of the major reasons is her versatility, right? She's obviously really good on defense. You can put her to stop some Barbarians. She'll actually take down a pack of Barbarians, especially if it's on your side of the map and you have the backup of the tower. And she's also really good on offense. She's a really tricky troop to lure or to kite around or even distract, because you really just can't use those really low hit point units against her. So obviously we talked about the Valkryie. The other key to this deck besides the spells are the Musketeer and the Hog. So the Musketeer is an interesting and very versatile unit too. She's definitely a really valuable source of high point damage DPS. And look, draw your attention to that left-hand lane right now. This is the combo that you want to pull off in this deck. It's the Hog, the Musketeer behind the Hog, and then you drop the Freeze spell. that's going to be the winning combination in this deck, and that's going to be the combination that you're hopefully going to win a lot of your matches with. Now, you can see on defense again, he actually gave up a tower on the right-hand lane, so now we're back to tied, but the Ice Wizard does a good job of kind of shutting down that surge so it doesn't do too much damage to the King Tower, and you can see the opposition's King Tower has about half health left or so. So we're playing against a P.E.K.K.A, and that's actually really cool because P.E.K.K.A is probably one of the most popular cards in the game right now. It seems after that last balancing update that everybody's playing the P.E.K.K.A, so you can see Clark Kent takes his time right now. He's kind of reloading. You don't want to rush things, especially when defending against the P.E.K.K.A. What you want to do is try to take your time and try to wait to see what your opponent does. Now, he has the freeze spell up. He can use it if need be, but he drops a Valkryie to the north of the P.E.K.K.A there, takes down the Wizard. That's why the Valkryie is so versatile on defense. Takes down the Wizard, almost takes him down to a few hit points left, and then he's able to freeze the P.E.K.K.A and take down the P.E.K.K.A as well, without either of them touching his crown tower. So that is actually a pretty good defense there. It's really tough to stop a P.E.K.K.A with a Wizard right behind him. So again, we're going to go ahead and reload here, drop the Elixir Pump, and now we have the Musketeer, the Hog, the Valkryie, and the Fireball ready. Now, like I said earlier, you can use the arrows instead of the Fireball if you choose to do so. And against this deck that he's playing against, it actually might make more sense to use arrows because he has that Minion Horde and he has no Three Musketeer or no Barbarian card in the deck. So now it's going to be go time. 30 seconds left in the match. This looks like it might go to overtime. He has to protect that left tower. There's not a lot of hit points left on it, but if he can get one of those good combos off, look at what he's got going on right now. He has 2 Valkyries, a Musketeer, a Hog, and an Ice Wizard, all heading after that King Tower. Looks like he might be able to pull off a 3-crown victory. Let's see if he can do it here. The Hog is on the King Tower, and here it comes. There's 2 Ice Wizards. That's really hard to stop, and the idea here is there it is, the 3 crowns, ladies and gentlemen. Good job, Clark. And that was one of his 11 wins in a row, and that's the idea. If you can get a lot of these cards down, boy, is it really difficult to stop a couple Ice Wizards, a couple Valkyries, and a couple Musketeers. I mean, what are you going to play against that? So it's a really good deck. It's a really versatile deck, and it's no wonder that he's having a lot of success with it. I haven't seen this exact deck before either, and he said he found a deck similar to this on TV Royale, and then he changed a couple cards to make it his own, and obviously you can find a deck like this. And if your cards aren't leveled up or you don't have one of the cards, you by all means use a card that you have that is actually higher level in place of a card that has a similar utility in your deck. So right now you can see he stops a Prince pretty easily with the Valkyrie and the Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard really useful against charging Princes because it slows them down. Then you're able to buy yourself an extra second or two to place another distracting troop to stop his charge. So now he's going to go ahead and reload, drop the Musketeer, and I think he's probably going to go ahead and let that dragon do a little bit of damage to his tower. Even though the opponent plays the freeze spell, he's going to reload and play the Elixir Pump. That's actually smart. The baby dragon doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage to a crown tower, and if you can go ahead and drop goblins like Clark Kent did and kite it away from your tower, it's actually a pretty good win because you're only down 2 elixir, and hopefully your tower is doing a lot of damage to the baby dragon in the meantime. So now we're kind of at a standstill. He's going to go ahead and drop a Hog, kind of to check to see what the opponent's going to play there. He plays a Prince against the Hog, so we have a little bit of an offensive surge coming in the left-hand lane, but he doesn't back it up with much, just a baby dragon, so he's able to go ahead and drop a Valkyrie, distract the charging Prince, and then drop a Musketeer card. Even though the opponent plays the freeze spell, it doesn't really do much damage. Again, the baby dragon isn't going to do a heck of a lot of damage. That was probably not the wisest freeze spell. You know, I talked earlier in the episode, knowing when to use your freeze spell is definitely an important little skill to learn. I'll probably release a video on just how to use the freeze spell and when to use the freeze spell in the future, because like I said, it's definitely an asset if you're really able to manage when you use the freeze spell. Freeze spell, in my opinion, is kind of an advanced card because people can really misuse it. You can use the freeze spell whenever you want to, and it affects every single troop on the board, so it's really important important to know when to and when not to use it. Mainly, you don't want to necessarily use it when you don't need to. You can see the opponent there could have played a few cards against that hog, but he chose to use the freeze spell instead. I think if it was me, hindsight being 2020, I probably would have dropped the Dark Prince there to play defense against the Hog, as well as the Princess, and turned that into an offense. You can see he does have an offensive surge in the right lane, but all it is a Prince and a Dark Prince. Had he used it on defense in the left-hand lane, he could have really had a powerful surge in the left instead. So that might be a little, you know, an example of when maybe to think twice about using a free spell. He would have taken maybe one more hit with the Hog, but he gave up what could have been the game in a really powerful offensive surge in the left-hand lane. So now we are in overtime, ladies and gentlemen. So how is Clark Kent going to finish this one off? He does not want to lose his first match. He's going to have to go ahead and play something big here, and that's a good freeze spell. See how much bang for his buck he got on that freeze spell? He uses Freeze, and then Fireball, and then Ice Wizard just to keep that tower alive. You can see the Ice Wizard was played to the right of the tower, in front of the tower. That way he distracted the units there. Just barely keeps that left tower alive, and then he's going to go ahead and drop the combo of combos, the Hog and the Valkyrie, and then the freeze spell. That's the winning combination. That's the win condition on this deck. You can see he has 100 hit points left. This is going to be an epic ending. Whoa! Just barely finishes that one off. Very nice last-second victory. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this deck. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care.